Hello everyone, in today's video I'll be talking to you about the truth on English speaking IT jobs in Japan. And I have to use my inside voice today because the dog's sleeping and the other room's busy, and yeah, it's very late in the morning. But I still want to get this video out ASAP for all the viewers out there. In my last video it seemed to strike a few nerves out there, so we're going to clear this out. Are there really a lot of English speaking jobs in Japan for engineers or IT workers? We're going to clear it out all of this video. Please check the timeline to see the relevant part for you. If you want to know why I'm not using correct lighting, it's because the light is too bright and it flickers. The camera doesn't work. So I'm forced to use this lighting that looks like I'm stuck in a dungeon. Let's get straight into it. It is early morning, so I'm quite tired from work. I've got myself cheap wine again. This time it's around $10 or so. This time it's around 1,500 yen. That's $10 or so that I got from my YouTube money from my last video. Thank you for watching. I've been making videos on YouTube for the past 2.5 years and the same issues arise. A lot of people from around the world who just speak English are having trouble finding IT work in Japan. But it seems like some Westerners are in Japan working in IT and giving absolute trash advice. So some of the common issues I see, that even if the engineer from abroad has the skills, they are told that they are rejected for they don't know why. Some of them are just waiting for a reply for weeks and get nothing back. Many of them tell me that they don't have enough Japanese to work in a company. Some even tell me that they're told that there's no Japanese required, but when they go to the interview, they have to speak Japanese. Another person even said that the CTO, CEO, and HR speaks fluent English, but the manager doesn't. So if the manager doesn't speak English, how the hell are you going to communicate with them? And it seems there are a few people out here who get butthurt because someone says you should learn Japanese when working IT in Japan. Imagine that, going to another country and being told to speak their language. So then we have to ask, how many foreign IT workers are actually working in Japan? With some research, I've found that there are around 70,000 foreign IT workers in Japan, which of course the overwhelming majority speak Japanese at work. Do I even have to explain that? There has been a large influx of Vietnamese IT workers as well, which is taking up over 25% of the foreign IT workers in Japan. Do you think they're all speaking English? A good 1/5 of the industry is from China, then it's the Philippines, then Brazil, and then all other countries, all of which are mostly using Japanese at work. Just to prove my point, I'm going to show you English speaking IT jobs, where to find them, and if there really are so many of them. You know I don't sugarcoat. Let's find these English speaking IT jobs. So let's find our first front-end web development job on LinkedIn. I just searched front-end developer in Japan. I didn't say I was from overseas, and I didn't write English. I don't even know if you can search in English on LinkedIn, but here we go. Senior front-end developer view, Shibuyaku. Cool. 75 applicants. I might try this. Let me see. Great, I've been working front end for over 8 years. Let me try this job. Okay, you finish applying. You check another website which you know has great English speaking IT jobs in Japan. Let's look at this website where I can find great English speaking IT jobs in Japan. Let's look for some front end jobs. Wait, what's that? Hey, that's the same job I just applied for. Wait, it's the same job. I'll just play again anyway. Who just play it? Just keep applying the same job in different websites. Let's try another website, another trustable website for English speaking IT jobs. Oh, apply from abroad. What? Hey, this is the same. Wait a minute. These are the same jobs. That is a problem that you will see with the English speaking jobs in Japan. They will be on all the websites. You saw on LinkedIn there were 75 applicants. I don't know how many are there in the other websites, and I haven't even gone through all the websites. There's still GTAP, Indeed, you know, there's so many other ones. So I don't know how many people actually applied for that job. Okay, LinkedIn's trustable, isn't it, for English speaking jobs? But look here. 1,300. Okay, that's a lot of jobs. I'm gonna get one of these jobs, but wait, 2 months. But that's quite 2 months ago. What about the past month? 330. Yeah, I'm gonna get a job. Okay, cool. What's this one? Front end engineer. Into. I don't. What? There's no. I don't speak Japanese. What are you? No, English only. How do I do English only? English only. English. Oh, because there is none. There's no filter. There's no filter. There's no English only. This one here. It's all in English. Wait, the hiring managers. It's a recruiting agent. Japanese into? No. Yeah, Rakuten. Rakuten's international English speaking. 100 applicants 1 week ago. It's okay, only 38 applicants 1 day ago. That's fine. I can get this. I'll apply for this too. Easy apply. What we also have to point out is these are reposted. So they're just collecting CVs. You don't actually know if they really are hiring people. And as for the Woven Tokyo, and about the Woven by Toyota, I tried to apply around 2 years ago. So that's someone with over 5 years experience of full stack web development, and I didn't go through. They just said I wasn't the right match. So some people who are even here cannot get these jobs. What you will find is at least half of these jobs require at least N3 Japanese and or to be in Japan. So if we half the 336 results, we have at least 150. As you see on the other English website, as you see on the other foreign okay English only websites, that there is that under 200 mark. It's around 200. So there's around 200 jobs. And half of them, at least half of them, require Japanese or to be in Japan. All I'm saying is just be careful who you get your advice from. You know, even me, you got to be careful with me because I'm not from your country. I don't have your culture. Maybe I'm 6'1". So when I shake people's hand, you know, I go and shake people's hand, I can assert dominance or something. I don't know. Just it depends on the person. So if someone says, oh yeah, you just do this, and you go, oh, that's it. And the reason I give advice is because I get people tell me every day, every week, the issues that they're having trying to find a English only job in Japan, abroad, right? This is abroad. So then you just have to say, oh, just come to Japan then. And that's easier said than done for most people. Some people have families. Some people have dogs maybe. Some people cannot exactly afford that type of money, or even afford to get a holiday. Just saying these kind of things to people is not helpful. And you see the people I interview on my channel, all three of them, the Brazilian guy, the Bangladesh guy, the French guy, all three of them have decent Japanese. And then these engineers, similar to me, how we can speak Japanese well, we could jump on those English only jobs and start next month, and we already have a visa. If you're applying from overseas, you're not only being challenged by ex-Tesla front-end web developers or ex-Twitter, you know, front-end web developers, you're also competing with foreign engineers in Japan who want those English jobs with that 10 million yen plus income. They're challenging. If you watch my video when I interviewed Paul Roberts, a recruiter who has been in Japan for 20 years over, he was explaining the risk of hiring someone from abroad. So if you don't have some type of connection to Japan and you're just a really good engineer, some companies see that as a risk because you might come here and after 2 months you realize that the culture is not what you want. You don't like it because you can't do what you do back at home. Or maybe some people triggered you because they don't bow the knee to your agenda or whatever you want to do. That's a risk for a lot of companies, which was why in that interview with him we also talked about bootcamp grads. Lately there's Lewagon, Code Crystals, there's probably a few other ones, and those bootcamp grads can get those let's say junior dev jobs. They got first dibs on junior dev jobs, not some guy in New Zealand who just loves anime and just wants to come to Japan. Like, that's not the first guy in line. There are also plenty of English teachers in Japan, me being one of those guys, who transitioned from English teaching to IT. So those guys will also be at the front of the line for the junior dev jobs. And I do understand that some companies go abroad and just bring like 20 engineers at once from like India or Vietnam or out of wherever they go to get their 20 cheap engineers. That's normal, that's fine. But in general, we have to talk about this next topic. The Western IT market is down, right? The Silicon boys are crying. They're losing their jobs. Japan's yen is getting weak. Some Toshiba wants to like fire some people. I don't know if it's true or not, but when you see things like that, it's not a good look for the industry. DEIs are getting fired, not just in the Western countries. I know of some in Tokyo. I'm not going to say how I knew, but I know that they are firing their DEI. They're firing their DEI managers because they can't afford it anymore, because it's not important to their business model. Or their business. Their bottom line is to make profits, not to hire people based on, I'm not going to get into this. As a person of diverse background, I'm not going to get into this. They're firing what you can call the BS jobs. Recruiters are being laid off. Lately, I've seen it. I've seen recruiters being laid off. I talked to a recruiter recently, and things are not looking good. When companies stop using recruiters, it means they don't have money. They start recruiting from internal, and they just get some dude some poor HR guy or girl probably. They get some poor HR person to do the whole process themselves. I was talking to this recruiter, and he was telling me the pie is getting smaller lately, which means less people are getting hired. Maybe more people getting fired, I don't know. Or maybe what I've seen lately, I'm a freelance engineer, is I'm getting all the responsibility. There should be 2 front-end engineers for this project, but I'm doing it all by myself. Which is probably why sometimes my code is quite crap, because I'm trying to keep up with deadlines. And to be honest, I'm not going to tell you it's going to go up back like pre-COVID. I was talking to this other recruiter then, telling me that after COVID happened, everything went really bad. And he told me this. Okay, I want to have a different video for this, for this based recruiter who told me everything. But he wouldn't recommend young recruiters get into the industry because he said it's so tough right now. Maybe that's just him, I don't know. And these are all English speaking positions, okay? Not Japanese. I'm not even talking about Japan yet. I'm just talking about English speaking jobs for IT. I applied to one of the jobs on those on Japan Dev. Japan Dev's great, Japan Dev's great. I applied to one of the jobs. I talked to the CTO, great guy, but once he told me 200 people applied for this position, I was like, what am I doing with this is a waste of my time. They're going to put me through a few tests, and it's going to take a few weeks to process, when I can just jump onto a Japanese freelance website and get a project running in 2 or 3 weeks and make more money. It's a video for another time, and that's only because I know Japanese and I can code half decent at least with my soy stack of either React to Vue or Next or Nuxt or whatever the hell I have to do to get paid around here. So for those guys out there and gals who think I'm just here to tell you the bad news, I'll tell you some good news now, and I'll give you some solutions. I'll give you some hope. We need a little bit of hope. I don't know the future of IT. I can't predict these things. Anyone tell you can, they're full of it. But all I can say is that if you have some USD, why not go to a Japanese language school? The cheapest I've seen around is 500,000 yen. What's it like? What? $3,000 at least. Around 3,000 bucks USD. Do that for a year. get your N3, get your N2. Once you get the N2, not just, okay, people complaining, oh yeah, but I don't have N2, I don't have N2. Of course I don't have N2. I've been living here long enough to learn it. But if you're an absolute noob, if you're just a beginner, you need some type of ladder to climb to get better. So you go to a Japanese language school, get your N2. It's gonna cost you around 500,000 yen, 600,000 yen outside of Tokyo. Maybe go to a cheaper city. Your rent's gonna be like cheap as too. So another gojuman for a year for a cheap rent outside of Tokyo. And maybe another goju, maybe juman a month for food and stuff like that. And that's much under 15,000 US dollars a year. That's cheap, isn't it? And that's including food and accommodation. I realize this is not for everyone. If you have a family, if you have pets, if you have to pay an expensive student loan, this is not the route for you. This is for just a single dude, single girl, just by yourself, or maybe you're with your girlfriend, or just you and your wife, or this is no dependencies. And keep your part-time job, keep your current job as a part-time. Try and freelance and get that USD. That's just one option. Then once you get your N2, the important thing is that you're in Japan and you show investment. Doesn't mean you're investing a lot of money, just shows you're investing time. The easiest way for some people is just to get the waifu, get their spouse visa. I'm not going to shame people for getting it's the way it is. If you're a university student, wait till you graduate, and if you can apply for a working holiday visa. This is dependent, I know it's dependent on the country, but working holiday visa after you graduate. If you have no skills in your country and no one's going to hire you, make your own service. If you can live at your mum's house and just eat bread and butter and jam for a year, whatever the hell you got to do for 1 year just to get those skills up, you just got to do it. I think what I'm trying to say here is try any way to be in Japan and just stay. It's the whole is it time in the market approach. Look, I've been here 12 years, so I know who to go to. I can go to certain people to find a project or a job. And I'm not saying, do not mistake what this video is about. It's not saying that you won't. I'm just showing you the competition, or how small of the pie there is for English speaking jobs in Japan. Not that you won't get it. Of course, if you're in Google America, you're going to get Google Japan. Of course, you can get that. There's probably even competition for that too. I don't know. But I've got a lot of the engineers I know are bilingual. So if you're a bilingual dev in Japan, you're kind of, you're rare. You're rare in Japan. And you are you are in a way an asset to the country more than just being monolingual, if you want to call it, or just speaking English. You are less value to a country than if you can speak their language too. And this is so strange that people get triggered by this. It's so strange. I don't get it. It makes sense for every country. Do it for any country. If you can speak Vietnamese and you are a native English speaker, you're of so much value. And you have IT skills, you're of so much value to that country. Okay, so I'm getting tired. I'm mostly preaching to the choir, I'm guessing. So I just want to say, be careful who you get advice from. Lower your hype. Don't hype don't hype yourself up just to get burnt out. And 3, get yourself to Japan. Doesn't matter if you have to teach English, doesn't matter if you have to become a student for a year or 2. However you got to get here, you got to get here. I'm not going to promise you that the yen's going to go up. I'm just saying, if you want to work IT in Japan and secure yourself and get all the opportunities and get and to increase your value, which just means increasing your opportunities, then yeah, you got to just be here and immerse yourself. Like, sub. Check out the Discord if you wanna have an honest chat about this. Jump on the Discord and have an honest chat about it, the link's there. Or straight onto LinkedIn, like, sub, comment. Negative comments are also great too for the algorithm. It's nearly 2 a.m. Good night.